up your engines, we're talking about cars. And let me tell you, car sales have been doing great in this economy. And we're going to find out what the new line of cars are going to be looking like, how we can save money and look cool. Joining us right now is James. Welcome to Get Connected.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
James, let's face it, you have the cool job when it comes to us guys.
You know, I get to play on TV, I get to play with cars. I think I've done all right.
Well, James, what makes GM brand and their cars so special to you?
Well, you know, I think it's the fact that the company's refocused on design, refocused on the emotional appeal of buying a car. There are very few vehicles that are, you know, bad buys when it comes to quality or fuel efficiency or resale value. Everybody's pretty good these days. There's no Yugos that you have to really make a point of avoiding. And so it's really starting to come back to, is it a vehicle emotionally appealing to me? Does it have things that I'm kind of proud to associate with? Does it look good? Is it something that I'm gonna want to own for reasons other than I just got a good deal on it? And I think that's where GM and Ford and a lot of the other car companies that maybe were struggling in the last couple of decades are coming on hard now.
You mentioned emotional, which of course, you know, us guys love to be. No, but seriously, you mentioned emotional appeal. What does that mean to you?
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess as much as I don't like to admit it, this survey that we've done with Harris Interactive identifies dadmobiles and how families are changing, and it's my house. I mean, my dad was a great guy. He was always around when I needed him, but he was not involved in the day-to-day activities. You know, he wasn't taking me to school, he wasn't taking me to camp and so forth. Whereas just yesterday, I took my daughter to school in a vehicle real similar to the one over my shoulder here. So I think that's, you know, a vehicle like this provides the coolness that a dad wants. It gives you that outdoor spirit. It gives you that idea that I can run off to the hardware store and throw some 2x4s back there. But then also takes care of the family. It's got all the safety you need, all the juice box holders you need. So it's a nice blending of the two. When you think about the car industry, it's really shifted, kind of evolved from station wagons to minivans to full-size truck-based SUVs, and now we've got the best of all those breeds with the crossover vehicles that we see here behind me.
Okay, we know that they're cool and functional, but what surprised you most about the survey?
Boy, I think it's the fact that you know, almost 80% of dads are now saying that they are, you know, equally involved in the rearing of children. You know, I think that's something I was surprised by, and the fact that there are a lot more dads involved in the trucking around of kids, so to speak, I don't think it was that big of a shock, because if you just spend some time in any driveways outside of schools these days, you're going to see the numbers there. But I think the fact that we're really seeing that, you know, fathers want to be much more involved in the day-to-day, attending the back-to-school nights, picking the kids up from school and doing the download on getting ready for doing homework, all those sort of things. I think that's a big cultural shift that we're now starting to see products such as these crossover vehicles that are appealing to that new dynamic.
Well, I guess now the kids think you're a super cool hip dad.
Well, you know, we put on the radio stations they want to listen to. We turn it up a little bit too loud, maybe drive a little too fast around corners, just to kind of, you know, keep it exciting for the kids. Dad's got to have some fun, right?
No doubt. Now tell us about this term that's new to me, crossovers.
Well, there's really two kind of classes of crossovers, and by the way, the name crossover comes from the fact that these look like SUVs. They look like they're vehicles you can, you know, take off-roading, but they're really more car-based. So they're quiet, they're more fuel efficient, they're smoother on the highway, and so forth. So good examples would be this Traverse, the Ford Explorer, the Honda Pilot, and the smaller crossovers, the Chevrolet Equinox, the Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, you know, vehicles that have really been successes in the market, even though the automobile industry in general is kind of flat.
And what is it about these that make them more eco-friendly?
Well, in the case of this Traverse here, the only engine it comes with is a V6. So there's no big V8s, which you know, give that kind of macho element and that good sound, and the towing capacity and things that people really aren't aren't taking advantage of. So you've got a responsible engine choice. Going forward, you're going to see a lot more electrification. You're going to be seeing mild hybrids, electric crossovers and SUVs. Things are going to become much more electrified in the future, and I think you're going to see a big shift in dealerships too. The kind of cars, if you haven't been in a dealership in a couple years, you're going to be really surprised over the next few years what's going to be available for purchase.
James, thank you for your time and your passion.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to go to my old beat-up car and wish that I was driving something cool like that. We'll be right back on Get Connected.